everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Nesrine Amar. I'm a PhD student at Nokia Bell Labs under the supervision of Sébastien Dexeux and Ludovic Noirier. Today I will talk about IoT device classification in smart home environment. So I will start by a brief introduction about IoT, then I will talk about the motivation and the research issue, which is IoT device identification. Then I will talk about the two solution proposals. The first one was based on network protocol and was improved later using supervised classification by adding more features to the already existing features. Then I will conclude the presentation by a brief summary and some future work and perspectives. So we have all of us heard about IoT. So with the proliferation of Internet of Things, more and more people buy IP-enabled devices, enabling them to remain informed and control their houses anywhere and anytime. And the number of IoT devices is quickly increasing, and so the diversity of devices, which are sensors, healthcare devices, tablets, smartphones, coming from several vendors and with different types and models. But it's true that IoT offers a lot of exciting potentials and opportunities, but it remains a lot of challenging to effectively manage things to reach a full smartness within smart environments. So let's take a brief scenario where we have an elderly person who lives alone at her house, and we have her son who bought to her a set of IoT devices to keep an eye on her and keep her safe, and also allowing her to keep tracking her health. However, this grandma does not know how to use all of these technologies. It's like a burden for her. A lot of devices communicating with each other, all of them using different communication technology. This is why we proposed for her an IoT service recommendation system, enabling her to reduce her involvement and facilitate the use of IoT devices. So this work was done 2 years ago. I participated during my master thesis with Ludovic Noirier and other researchers at Nokia to propose an IoT service recommendation system. However, we assume that we already know the type of devices that are connected to the home gateway. And, okay, so the next slide. For such systems, we need to find out what type of devices are connected to the gateway. But asking the end user to provide this information could generate a lot of burden leading to errors and missing data. Also, when the number of IoT devices increases, this task becomes unbearable. This is why we argue that an IoT device identification assistant is necessary to handle this issue and reduce manual tasks. So during this presentation, our main objective is to propose an IoT device identification, allowing us to discriminate between IoT device traffic and associate each device to a specific class or a specific type. The main challenge here is the heterogeneity of devices. So last year we proposed a first solution which is based on network protocol shared messages. The key idea is to analyze packets sent by each device to the gateway and extract relevant information about this device to identify its type. For example, we can get from these messages the manufacturer name from the MAC address, the device name from the DHCP information, but there is also the service discovery protocols that shares a lot of information. and the most used ones are UPnP and Bonjour. For example, from UPnP we can get the manufacturer name, model, friendly name and types from the XML description shared within the SSDP messages during the discovery process. And from Bonjour we can get also the device local name, services names and types from the MDNS records. And we can also use the user agent within the HTTP header to mainly identify mobile devices. So let's take just an example of this information extracted from network packets. Here in this table we have, for example, 4 different cameras, a lighting device, 2 tablets and 2 PCs, 1 speaker and a TV. If we take a look at this extracted information, we will see that each device is identified uniquely with a unique signature, and a signature is composed by a set of words. Some cleaning process could be applied to remove unnecessary words, but there is some keywords that are useful for us to identify, for example, the category of the device, camera, tablet, desktop, or TV. And there is a lot of information that be combined with these words to make a fine-graded identification of the exact model of the device that is connected to the home gateway. We tried to test this solution if it is enough for us to identify the type of the device, and we used 33 devices. 30 devices were uniquely classified by having a unique signature. However, some devices do not offer any information about their type because they have a different behavior, they do not use the discovery protocols and so on. This is why we intend to investigate other features that cover all the devices and make also this task autonomic, because if the number of signatures increases, it will become hard to maintain the system, and it requires human involvement each time to make the list of signatures up to date. Recent researchers started to investigate the device classification based on supervised classification, and there is really few of them. In 2017, a paper was published which is entitled A Machine Learning Approach for IoT Device Identification based on Network Traffic Analysis. In this work, the researchers used features extracted from the TCP sessions to identify the type of devices, and they tested their solution on 10 devices, and it gives good accuracy. However, this type of solution is not enough for us because they had to wait until the end. Sorry, I lost my voice. So we need to wait until the end of the TCP session to be able to identify the device. And in our case, we would like to identify the device when it just connects to the network. So the work is based on the first packets exchanged between the device and the gateway. Another work was published, which is entitled Automated Device Type Identification for Security Enforcement in IoT. In this work, they used a set of features extracted from the 12 first packets exchanged between the device and the gateway. However, their results showed a good accuracy for 17 devices and a bad accuracy for 10 devices, which was around 0.5 for the remaining 10 devices. In this work, we are going to improve the previous works and the previous proposed solution by adding new feature. We started to select the most known feature from the traffic characteristics, which are the following. We have the packet length, the flow size, the inter-arrival time, and the different protocols of the different application layer of the IP stack. So these features are extracted from log captures of targeted devices, and they do not rely on packet payloads. And in general, they are widely used to handle different problems, for example, the application classification problem. In our case, we are going to combine these features with these extracted information. So in this case, we will have two types of features, textual features and numerical features. So for the textual features, from each device description, we are going to apply a feature extraction process, then some data cleaning process to remove symbols, remove punctuations, and so on. And then we will generate the feature vector using the binary bag-of-word representation. The bag-of-word representation is mainly used for document classification, where each document is presented by a set of unordered words. And in our case, for example, here we have a set of words, and they are represented by a binary feature vector, which here we have a sparse matrix. For example, for each word that exists in the device description, the value is set to 1, and for the other, if not, the value is set to 0. So these features are going to be combined with the statistical feature extracted from the network communication characteristics. So our classification methodology is formulated as follows. We have a set of devices, which are our classes, and for each device, we have a set of flows, and for each flow is presented by a feature vector. Then, as the number of IoT devices could be imported, we are going to build a classifier by class. In this case, when we have a new feature vector of a known device, we are trying to identify its type based on the corresponding obtained models. Then this method is known as one versus all, which is very useful and have a main advantage is its interpretability. In this case, by having one classifier by class, we will obtain a set of interpretable models instead of one complex model. To collect our data set, we need a specific network setup, which is the following. We have, for example, the BRG, which is a home gateway connected to the internet and which is connected to an Ethernet switch. Then we have a monitoring PC, which is connected at the port mirroring of the switch. And we also added a Wi-Fi access point to be able to capture also the traffic of the wireless devices. So this is the general representation that contains the global component. But for example, here we have a set of devices connected to the residential gateway, and thanks to the device monitoring component, which is implemented on the monitoring PC, we are going to capture 10 we are going to detect 10 captures for each device. Here we collected the traffic of some devices in our lab, but we combined them with other data sets coming from other researchers, which is the reference is there, which I mentioned above in the previous slides. Then we have the device identification assistance that communicates with the device monitoring component through HTTP REST communication to get all the captures, then extracts all the flows from each capture. Then the feature vector generation process is applied, and finally we have the device classification. For our data set, we have 28 devices, which is a small representative set of devices coming from several vendors with different models. And for each device, we have 10 captures. At the end, we obtained 432 flows. So now we are going to classify these flows based on supervised classification in order to discriminate between the traffic of each device. For that, we selected 5 knowing classification algorithm, and we tested all of them. These results presented are computed on the test set, but we fixed a set of hyperparameter and we applied a grid search on the validation set, and then we selected the best model for each one. So we see that the table shows almost very close results between the different algorithms, but in our case we selected the decision tree because it's slightly different, but it's the best. It's the best one. This figure shows the accuracy of each classifier. We see that the accuracy is equal to 1 for most of the devices. For these classifiers, we saw that the textual feature have an important strength on the classification, but the main message of this figure is the 3 following devices, which are Edimax and iKittle and the Wemo link, because they do not offer any textual feature that are unique for them. But let's take a look before that at this figure, which is the accuracy only based on the statistical feature. We see that the accuracy here is not good for most of the devices. But let's focus again on the Edimax, the iKittle, and the Wemo link device. We have like accuracy around 0.6, which is different from this accuracy. So the most important message from this figure is that by combining all the features, even this accuracy is going to increase, the accuracy of the devices with no textual feature. So this figure, now we have compared our results with the other works, and we see, like, for the identification speed, this one, as I said, do not correspond to our need, because you have to wait until the end of the TCP session to be able to identify the device. And in our case, we would like to identify the device when it just connects to the network. For the second one, for the first one, we have we are able only to identify devices with textual feature, which offers a device description extracted from the network protocol messages. And for the second one, we have bad accuracy for 10 devices. So with this method, by combining the textual description extracted from the payload packet and the statistical network feature, we are able to cover all the aspects not covered by the other works. So we are at the end. So I presented here the device classification in order to discriminate device traffics in the home gateway, and we showed that good results based on a representative set of IoT devices. But there is a lot of work to do in the future, because this work covers only IP devices, and you would like to investigate, for example, Bluetooth devices. Also, we would like to increase the number of the tested devices by increasing the number of our data set. And we would like to integrate the solution in a real IoT platform. And also, we would like to to work on IoT service autonomous characterization to make the IoT service recommendation system fully autonomous. So the two first publications were done concerns the IoT service recommendation system. The third, and the fourth one concern the first solution, which is based on network-based identification. The third one is about the classification method, and the last one is a demo that we are going to present at TMA in June. Thank you. So if there is a question, we can discuss them or after the presentation.
Basically, I mean, from the last talk, you sort of showed that if there's any sort of information that these devices are sharing in textual form, like accuracy obviously spikes a lot. And if you remove that, it sort of like decreases almost to a point where you cannot really rely too much on the classification. So the question would be like, going forward, like, do you expect most of these devices to actually share that information, or down the line, like, you should like focus on the second techniques because like they might not use those protocols anymore, or like?
No, I do not expect if all the devices share their description. In this case, we will not need to add other features, which are the packet length or inter-arrival time. But by combining these features, the accuracy of, for example, the ITIL-CAT and the Wemo links, these devices do not share any textual feature. Their accuracy were very bad, but by combining all the feature with the textual feature and statistical feature, the accuracy of these devices has increased. So this is why we would like to combine all the types of features.
I think the question was your question about new the fact that the device that you can get commercially, would they give some textual information or not?
I mean, down the line, like as technology evolves, do we expect to still have that information or not? Because like if so, then you're good to go. If not, I guess you still have a lot of research to do.
Maybe I didn't get.
I can give the device we have here. They are just devices used by in another paper, and also devices that we have in our lab. We do not do anything on these devices, and they talk like this in the network. So we have this information. Now, what will be the evolution? We don't know. Most of the devices, if you want to be able to use them with other devices, they should use protocols like Bonjour or UPnP, and so we will have the information. But we don't study what is the evolution today about it. But this is why also that she tried to do something with adding statistical information about the flows in case there is no information, and we see that combining the both is even for the devices that are not sharing information, it's better. Of course, for these devices you will only have data from the traffic characteristic, but it's even better than if you do only traffic characteristic for all the devices.
Because I've never seen a talk like on a very similar topic. I mean, like same ground, just like looking from outside the home, where you obviously don't have the textual information. And they were showing that, like, if you look at traffic patterns, it's sort of easy to understand what type of device you're looking at. but it becomes a lot harder to possibly distinguish across same devices. I mean, devices in the same category, unless you can spoof things like DNS queries, which can help. But DNS is sort of dying now, so that's going to go away. I mean, not dying, but like it's going to be encrypted, so you're not going to see that. So, and I mean, I was just like wondering down the line, like how much you can rely on the second approach, where you really just look at traffic, which seems more plausible in some sense.
Do you think about that?
But if you have this work, could you share it, please, so I can get a look at it?
For me, there is a big difference between what you mentioned and what you are doing. We are in the local network. So we have access to the DHCP information also that I don't think it will be one day encrypted. There is no reason because it is local. And there are some information that are already available at this level. And also in the LAN you have UPnP. The LAN normally does not go through the local network, but devices that can use this kind of protocols, they will use it locally. So of course our solution works because we are locally, we are monitoring the traffic locally, but it is our scope in what we are doing in the department in which I work.
It could be interesting, in addition to identifying what the device is, to identify who is using the device, especially in the case of the lady you mentioned before. That's usually a problem when doing a remote health, because you can have several people in the house and you want to be sure that this is the person that is drinking water or whatever. Any ideas?
Yes, I think I read some papers about the user profiles, but maybe in this case we can do that by collecting traffic during like very long time, because here it's not the case. Here just the communication between the device and the gateway. And in this case, we can see, because, for example, if it's a person, for example, at my age, maybe she is using for a lot of time her devices, her smartphone, and but an elderly person, she has a specific type of devices, and she do not use, for example, her smartphone a lot of time during the day. Maybe analyzing traffic, for example, for a whole week or a whole month, we can provide some information about the user profile. But it's a good idea to personalize things to better propose services.
In addition for that, for you, Daniel, there are some people in our team that are, I'm thinking about Michel Lepalec, who has collaborated with Neswin and myself on the recommendation aspect of services using IT devices, the two first papers she listed. He's looking at trying to connect the users and the devices, but it's something that is quite difficult.
Thank you.